going to show you what the disciples believed real quick. Right? There was no dispute about how Christ was born. Mary was raised in the temple. You had to be a Levite to be raised in the temple. So what the Christian church did, they began to lie and say, well, how are we going to sneak Mary in so that we can worship the Queen Mother of Heaven? I know. Let's tell everyone that Luke's lineage is Mary's lineage. And that Matthew's lineage is Joseph's lineage. It's a lie. When you look in the Eusebius, that discrepancy is no discrepancy at all. It's all resolved that it's Joseph's lineage at the end of both of those. We went into it in the academy. So they say, how are we going to uphold our Queen Mother of Heaven that we were worshiping under the Mithriist religion? How are we going to uphold that if everyone knows that she's Levi? We're not going to tell people she's Levi. We're going to tell people she's Judah. They're slaves anyway. They'll never research past slave ships. Okay? They'll never research past slave ships anyway. Right? Let's get it real quick. Let's get John 1:45 to show you there was no disputes amongst the disciples concerning Christ's birth. And then we're gonna hit this a little later. I'm just touching on it now. We're going to hit it a little later after bringing out the modern day characters. Lately, the Johnny-come-latelys in the Catholic Church who made all of these things which are antichrist. Christian Darber. And this false doctrine, this antichrist doctrine became within the what you would confine of what you would call the hermeneutics now taught to all the Christian churches. Right? John 1:45 to prove there was no dispute concerning Christ's birth or who Christ's father and mothers were during Christ's time. John 1:45, read it.
St. John chapter 1, verse number 45.
Read it.
Philip findeth Nathanael and saith unto him, We have found him.
We have found him.
Of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write.
Whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write.
Jesus of Nazareth.
Jesus of Nazareth.
The son of Joseph.
The what?
The son of Joseph.
No, the Gathering of Christ Church is making this up.
The son.
Hold on. We're saying that Christ was Joseph's son. So we're making this up, right? The what?
The son of Joseph.
Now, wouldn't the people who lived during Christ's time know? Huh? The Christian church will never show you that, will they? Because why? When you begin to understand the Bible as it is written, it breaks the spells, the psychosis, the spell they have on us. When you believe in the Babylonian triune, it keeps you under the spell of church. That's why so many of our people, they know they can't what you would call substantiate any doctrinal understanding, substantiate their belief. They know they can't. But what keeps them there? The spell. I sat there with a pastor the other week, Elder Lawyer. Nowhere he could explain Sunday worship to the degree of frustration. You can hear the frustration on this pastor's, in his voice. That he believed it was there. But why? Why is he still in the church? When you say, well, the Lord says all through the Bible you should follow the Sabbath. You cannot confirm Sunday worship anywhere, Pastor. Will you still follow it? Well, yes. Why? He's under a spell, folks. When you believe what's under their hermeneutics, it keeps you under the control of the Jesuits, the warlocks. It keeps you under their control. And we're going to expose who the gatekeepers are. That's why we named this tonight the gatekeepers of Christianity. Because just like Satan, the greatest trick Satan have ever played on mankind was to make man believe he don't exist. Well, it's the same with Satan's ministers. They play the background, but they set the barriers within all the churches. And if you stay within their programming, the warlocks now have power over that whole church. Doesn't matter who that pastor is. If you stay within their doctrinal confines, you're under the spell.